of Communications and Marketing at Euro Pacific Capital, and who is co-author along with leader of the illustrated economics book, How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. Let's hear it for Andrew.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, nice crowd, nice crowd. A couple of quick points before I start speaking on things that are more civic. Speaking of liberty and not paying taxes, for the moment, a shout out to Phil. If anyone knows him, early Schiff, my father, still in jail for not paying taxes. So he got a 13-year sentence and he's 83. He's got 6 years to go. I just sent him a file and a cake, hopefully that will work. But his spirits are good. If you want to write him a letter, you know him. He reads all his mail. He's at Terre Haute Federal Correctional Institute in Terre Haute, Indiana, and he's there. Anyway, another 2 points. We talked about our previous speaker talking about the Articles of Confederation, and before you lead back into that, there is one thing, if you do study history, you will know one thing certainly, that a power vacuum gets filled by a power. So you can eliminate as much government as you possibly can, but maintaining that is the challenge, because as soon as there's no power, something's going to come in and take it. And the last thing I'd say is about freedom. My favorite line about freedom in America was delivered by Jack Nicholson in Easy Rider, and it might have been ad-libbed, I heard, although it might have been apocryphal. And the line is, Americans love to talk about freedom, but if they ever see someone who's truly free, it scares the shit out of them. And that I think is unfortunately a lot more true than I'd like to be. Anyway, my name is Andrew Schiff. I'm Director of Communications with Euro Pacific Capital, which is an investment firm. I'm based here in New York City. A lot of you may know my brother, Peter Schiff. He's been on TV a couple of times. He's been on the internet. I think if you might find him, if you go to the internet and you type his name in, you might find him here too. Anyway, Peter's not here today. He's out in D.C. He's going to a wedding, but also, this is very interesting. On Tuesday this week, he is testifying before the House Subcommittee on Government Reform and Stimulus Oversight. It's a big committee. Not too many members, but long name. And he's testifying on the subject of job creation. Believe it or not, he was invited by the committee chairman, Jim Jeffers. I think it's his name, which is a very brave act. And I helped prepare Peter's testimony, although he's not going to read from the script, I'm sure. And the testimony is pretty blunt, and I'm sure words of that ilk were never before uttered in the halls of the U.S. Congress. But basically, he's saying, look, you want to create jobs in America. First of all, you got to get a hold of our fiscal policy and our monetary policy. You know what that's all about. And I'm the only person to talk about that tonight, about how we have to, restore sound money. We have to eliminate this overhang of federal deficits, which are directing all money away from the private sector and into the public sector. But he also talked about employer freedoms. And this is the big thing. What he's going to try to stress is that an employer doesn't lose rights when they hire somebody, and someone doesn't gain rights when they get a job. And there's plenty of laws on the books in our criminal code to protect an employer from an employee from any kind of criminal act of coercion. But there are mountains and mountains of regulations which give employees a club and employers reason to fear hiring someone. And we're trying to say, look, if you want to increase employment, if you want to make people easier to hire, you've got to make them easy to fire, unfortunately. And you have to be able to hire them without a lot of fear about what's going to happen to you and your business if you hire the wrong person. So, he's talking about getting rid of a lot of, regulations in the workplace and workplace safety and workers' comp and mandated benefits and disability laws and anti-discrimination laws, which are legion. It's not very popular in the world today, but that's what we're going to talk about. Anyway, so I don't know if it's going to be broadcast on C-SPAN. You'll probably see on YouTube. The committee puts it up on YouTube after that. It's on Tuesday. What I want to talk about tonight is, I've been dealing with the financial media here in New York City for probably about 15 years. And I think I know just about everybody in the major mainstream media that writes about economics and economic policy and the stock market. And these are nice people. I mean, I deal with them all the time. They're smart people, but unfortunately, they remain clueless. I mean, it's like you're trying to talk to them and trying to tell them the truth about what we see going on in the economy and what the real forces are, and it's in one ear and out the next. And the biggest problem is that I'm trying to tell them that an economy doesn't grow because people spend. And that's what everybody thinks, right? If you look in turn to the island, any economic debate, the idea is, well, we've got to get the economy going, we've got to boost GDP, we've got to get people spending. And I think when it comes to economics, most people don't understand this. They think, yeah, spending, that's good, that creates jobs. People go out and spend, they buy things, the stores stay open, the stores sell more goods, and there's stuff we can buy. And actually, that's like saying that wet sidewalks cause rain. If you really understand economics, which is not very hard, in fact, this is all carefully illustrated in my book, How an Economy Grows in Life Graphics. Spending does not create economies. It's kind of like, we have money in the system, and money is a fairly new development in economic terms. But take the money, and money is very necessary. It's a lubricant for economic transactions. Money makes things go smoothly. But money is just a conduit. It's not the engine. It's kind of like your car doesn't go, and you decide, well, it's not lubricated enough. You just pour oil over it, and pretty soon it'll go. If the engine doesn't work, it doesn't matter how much oil you pour on it in terms of money. It doesn't matter. So, but what really makes an economy go is production, producing more stuff. It's very simple, and Tom Woods is going to hear later, and he's got a great lecture about this. It's like, it's all the quality of the tools you have, and how efficient your labor is. If you took away all our tools, if you took away all of our machines, everything we've got, and left us with hands and teeth, the human being, the human condition would be no different from any other primate. We could not, no matter how smart we are, if we don't have a good tool, if we don't have a good machine, our economy does not exist. And the history, thank you, I'm person back. The history of the human economy is a history of improvement of technology. Each technology builds on the next, builds on the next. It really started about 220 years ago in 1770 with the invention of the steam engine. That's what kicked it into overdrive. And the better our tools get, the better and tools come from capital formation, investment, design, innovation, build greater tools. Then we can take the limited amount of resources we have, and everything in the economy is limited, except for air. Well, even that's limited. But just about everything else is limited. And the question, and our labor is limited. And the more efficient we can get by using our limited resources and our limited labor to produce more goods and services that people want, that's what makes an economy grow. Money has nothing to do with it. Printing money has nothing to do with it. Credit has nothing to do with it. It's just how are you going to build better tools, and how are you going to expand production, and the kind of prosperity that we developed in this country in the 19th and 20th century was unprecedented. By 1920 or 1930, you had living standards in this country that had never been seen before on the face of the earth, and that was done without big government, without the income tax, without workers' employment regulations, without Social Security, without the welfare state. That's what created the wealth. Since 1930, 1940 or so, what have we been doing? We've been dissipating our wealth. I was watching a show, I was debating with someone the other day, and this is a left-wing guy, and as far as he was concerned, prosperity came to being somehow in 1952 as a result of strong labor trade unionism in the United States. That's not how it happened. I mean, that's what started our decline. We had built a level of wealth in this country that was off the charts. Now, yes, the Industrial Revolution had its low moments. Charles Dickens noted quite a few of them. There were certainly some bad things for child labor and things like that in this country and still around the world now, but people forget. I mean, child labor has been going on since the dawn of time. I mean, before the Industrial Revolution, every kid worked, unless you were a member of the nobility. They all worked on farms. The fact that we can transition from that into an industrial economy in 20 or 30 years, we invented the middle class in this country, where everybody had not just a home and a house and electricity, but a washing machine, and one parent could work and support a family. My grandfather came to this country in 1890, but he moved to New Haven, Connecticut in 1910. He was a carpenter. He was a skilled carpenter, but he was a carpenter. He supported a middle-class lifestyle. His wife did not work. He retired. He had a vacation home. It was a modest vacation home, but it was a vacation home. And he did all that on a working man's salary with no income taxes and no government breathing down his neck. That is impossible today. Despite all the struggles of the welfare state, that's impossible. And if you understand economics and what makes an economy grow, you can figure out why that happened. Unfortunately, people don't understand that. So talk about, changing the Constitution and changing the way we govern ourselves. Until we change the animal, until more people understand what's going on and what makes the world economy grow and what creates prosperity, it doesn't matter. We're still no change will be able to take hold because people won't understand it. So that's all I got to say. Go check out the book, How an Economy Grows in Oil Crashes. It's illustrated. It's got pictures. You read it in 3 hours. Your kids will like it. Your friends will like it. And see you on TV. Thanks a lot.